just to, to make sure a lot of people can tune in. It's going to be recorded and should be available on. Um, it should be
Facebook,
available on
YouTube.
Facebook and
Let's make
YouTube.
sure, yeah.
But if people can tune in right now, that'll be quite cool.
Question: Are people tuning in from here or tuning in from YouTube?
YouTube primarily.
YouTube, but and Facebook and Twitch. However, I'm guessing Precious is one of your friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if Precious wants to perform, we have space for her. But if she wants to chill and be part of the chat, then I'm more than happy for that to happen.
I'm a poet, but I don't think I'm quite ready today. But thanks, guys. Maybe next time.
Let us know whenever. I'm going to stop talking now because Akko is the host. But last thing, Akko, before I give it over to you completely, have you got the list?
Oh boy.
I'll send it to you on WhatsApp.
Please do that.
Okay, no worries.
All right.
I'll stop talking now.
Okay. So we're live now. And welcome to BYOB on the 3rd of August. We shifted it from last week to this day. Wait, let me do it properly. Welcome to BYOB online. We've been sponsored by Brent 2020 Borough of Culture, and it's been a very good thing for us to be able to bring poetry to a lot of people here. So I really have to appreciate Brent and the entire team for what they've done and how they've kept this going, irrespective of how the years turned out. Today we have a couple of people, and each poet here is going to do their thing. We're going to work with them. I'm going to listen to what you have to say and your expression of creativity. I love the way each poet has a different style and a different idea and a different way of expressing different things. One of the things I love about poetry is the way everyone can paint a picture with the words that they have, and everyone sees the world in a different way. And so that gives us this massive collage of random pictures and images and colors and smells that we can all relate to in different ways. So that's something I really like. So as a sacrificial poet, I would go with the first poem, and then Abdullah send me the list, and I would see how the layout is going to be. Just give me a second, let me get this. All right, so Brooklyn is going first, then Swati, then Lewis, then Regan, Rohan, Lantern Carrier, PM, Hazel, Holly D, Beth, and then would have Miller, right? So remember, it's 3 minutes per piece.
Mine's like X-rated. I can't go for.
Okay, all right. I'll put you down. So Swati is going to be first, and then so would hopefully be in the safe zone by then. That's
mine's
okay.
A word poem today.
So I'll just blur out the swear word I was gonna say. It's calm.
Calm. All right. Okay. So I'll go first. that poet's throat clear. It's about to drop bars. Is it still poetry if I don't like the words? If I don't like the rhythm or the rhyme that undulates the waves traveling under a ship? If I don't snap my fingers and bless the gods that they may in turn fill those who read or write with comfort and rare flowers? Is it still poetry if you don't fill me with the or fill me with the deep awe and gratitude? If you don't cover from the unsaid or charge the unmoved till they all sigh in acceptance? Is it still poetry if you don't think it is? If you don't like it, if you don't want it? Is it still war if I don't fight in it? If I don't fight against it, or at least acknowledge its existence? Thank you.
Bad luck. Cool. No, that was good.
Thank you. Thanks. So, the first person after me is why did I do that? Is Swati. Yes.
All right, cool. The title of this poem is called Skipping Stones. So yeah, I'll let you lot figure out what that truly means. Splash, a new personal best. It took 8 skips for my stone to skinny dip. Each throw educates my heritage. Out of range, full of rage, suffers tension at each stage, bathes my tombo. A skipping stone drenched in hate. Sticks and stones. One floats fears, one drowns tears. Zimambwe nematombo. One makes spears, one protects crowns. They resemble dogs, so we'll come at them with sticks. Out loud, we voice a choice so proud, each release lets go of pride. Though I'm the only, I'm not the only. In my walk, I'm not lonely. May 2020 globally showed our diverse visions may not be 2020. You don't need to read between the lines for those who draw a line with All Lives Matter. You don't need to read between the lines for those who blur the lines on Black Lives Matter. The type to ask, where are you from? In an instant, I hear the intent. Though I never vent as it's easier to answer. Yet some content to pretend as they don't need to repent and say, oh, you're from Rhodesia. Say R again. Say R again. I dare you. I double dare you, mother. Say R one more goddamn time. My Bantu ancestors never thought that they'd anchor us. Say the R word one more time and watch the pain of my people slit your throat. It's not the sword or the spear that the Lord saves. The coat of armor may be sweet, but all we need are stones from the stream of our DNA. With a sling and a stone, I'll sing, we are strong. I am from the great houses of stones. I am from Zimbabwe. I throw, bouncing off bad energy, my stone skips them all. I throw, skipping over enemies, landing on what represents me, my stone atones. The more I throw, the more I learn. The more I throw, the more I earn my ancestors' throne. The more I throw, the more my tone speaks about where I'm from. The more I throw, the more I know how far I've come. Though I'm the only, I'm not the only. In my walk, I'm not lonely. Great Zimbabwe may be in ruins, but I'll never let them ruin me from being a great Zimbabwean. Thank you.
Woo, 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 woo. Yes. Wow.
Okay. All right.
So
okay. Okay. All right. Is it legal to have such fire? Is it allowed?
I guess it is.
That line where you went something like one protects crowns and one makes spares or something like that was flip. Yeah. What? So the language you spoke, that was Bantu?
So it's Shona. So I'm Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, there's usually two languages, Dewele and Shona.
Okay.
So one thing I've done during COVID is I've started to read more about my history, understand what it really means to be Zimbabwean. It's not, for example, why it was called Zimbabwe, what was it called before? Rhodesia and the whole passage of my people, and the idea of where Bantu people originally come from, why neighboring countries have certain words. For example, one of my friends speaks Swahili, and there's certain words that are shared within a country that's far away from my country. So that's why I was looking back into my history. And yeah, I wrote this Saturday. So I just thought, I'll just perform what I just recently wrote Saturday. So yeah.
Thanks, man. What did that part where you said in Shona? What does it mean?
So there's different parts. So Matombo means stones. So another name for Zimbabwe was Matopo. So that's where it comes from. But Zwimambwe is sticks, and Zwimambwe and Matombo means sticks and stones. So it's the same thing as sticks and stones may break your bones, blah blah blah. So I thought I'd just do a twist on that. And spears is one of the weapons that they use, because I was reading about back in the days when the Portuguese tried to come over in the 18th century, but they couldn't take over Zimbabwe. They had their weapons, but they lost the spears. And the stones is because Great Zimbabwe is built on stones, and that stone was what would essentially protect people. So it's protecting the crown. So that's how I end up writing that somehow.
Nice, I love that. I'd love to read it in its regular form. Thanks for that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So next we have Louis. I met Louis yesterday. We're hanging out, we're chilling, and so that's what I met her. But yeah, it's nice to have you here. So take it away.
So this poem's entitled "What's a Free Word Worth?" And I wrote this really because as a child I was always someone that was kind of the butt of people's jokes about talking too much, and I was almost made to feel like talking was a bit of an infliction. Recently I qualified as a play therapist, where I've worked with a lot of children that are mute and children that feel like they can't voice their truth. And I wrote this in a way because I think the wrong kind of silence, or the wrong kind of like not talking, if you like, kind of promotes that truth doesn't matter when it does. So yeah, I wrote this. It's called "What's a Free Word Worth?" Now, what's a free word worth? Because I'll be the first to admit that I quite like a dictionary for dinner. It doesn't make me a sinner. Words for breakfast and lunch. In fact, it gives my free tongue that crusader's crunch. Freedom to the palate. Have you ever played unsung tongue fu with a beak that can bite if it has to? See, my tongue came wagging out of the womb, so freedom to me is letting my tongue run at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's its power, right? But your need for me to be seen and not heard left me tongue-tied, sour. But not for long. See, I love a good pickle and pork, so you don't get to tell me how to talk. My talk, the talk in me. Speak yourself free. Dialect, belonging, common chitter, cockney chatter, jibber jabber. Talk to learn, talk to know. Humble girl from Bow. Slang, the uncultured clan. Sparrows fly high, me from the gutter. Resilient wings flutter. When you ain't got money, you've got ideas. Free them, talk them out, don't ask, don't get. Wars weren't won on silent tongues. Now, I'm not purporting that free tongues win wars, but if as babies we learn to read with our ears first, it gives us ample passage to prepare the verse that frees our tongues from hostile baggage. Better equipped to take on that savage when they realise that troubled tongues transcends. Talk thick, come again, socially awkward or socially advanced, mate. I can talk underwater, damn right. I can talk the hind legs off a donkey, damn straight. Hanging off your ear roll because this loquentious babbler's got soul. I could talk for England, I hope so, let's go. Cut me down because you've got no words to build me up, what a Berkeley Hunt. Too much rabbit, or maybe you're just not enough hair. Don't you ever come up for air. Now I'll breathe when I'm dead. Chew that fat, chase a chinwag, talk your mind full, dare to drivel, and don't mind your motor mouth. Are you still talking? Shut up, zip up, too gobby. Be silenced or beautifully heard. Take pride, don't hide. Saucy, sarcastic, straight talking, gift of the gab, deliver. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. Adversity, educate, succinct, articulate. Words saved me. Sticks and stones, names hurt. Build up, don't break down. Talk to yourself kindly. Use words wisely. Listen, hear, respond. Words worth more than gold. Sold.
Yo,
I love that. I love
Coming up with that Cockney rhyming slang.
isn't it?
Right.
Bring it back to the roots.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That
I like
was
the
an
part.
important one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like where you went words. Wars went one with quiet
Silent
words.
tongues.
With silent
Yeah.
tongues. Oh, yep. Very true. When they say,
I think it's easy to put people down when they talk a lot, like we don't mean to do it, but you can definitely make people feel like, certainly there was times in my life when I'd had different traumas and I spoke more because of anxiety probably, but ultimately it's a gift, isn't it, to be able to articulate words and share words. And I guess if you tell people too often that people don't want to hear what you've got to say, then you just become silenced, and that's grim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And I would love to hear
Felt
more.
Good reading that again. I haven't read it in a while. I'm like, yeah.
All right. Thanks. So next we'll have. Wait, is Regan Martin here? Regan? Nope.
I don't think Regan's actually joined us today.
Nope. Snooch. We are going to move to Rohan. Yeah. So I think this is the third or fourth time Rohan is going to be here, and he like before, I think maybe 2 months ago I didn't know Rohan, but right now I think if I meet Rohan in person, because it's been online all this while, it would be like from his poetry to just his way in conversation and his thought process. It's been such an interesting journey to know him. So yeah, Rohan,
thank you very much. Thank you. I'm gonna perform something new. I wrote it, I think maybe like last week. So it's called it's called Childlike Antidote. I need discipline because there's a child in me that wants to break free. Shackled by the bondage of adulthood, this child in me is deleting all aspects of adulthood that do not stabilize my mental stability. You see, the adult in me feels like it needs to conform to society in order to survive, but the child in me is screaming for nurture. It's Tamagotchi. Understand that the child in me is just as important as the adult. Warring with your inner child may leave you in a sunken and defenseless place. No need to battle ships when you can develop armadas in order to connect for the sake of your mental survival. Yet at times it feels like I'm always searching these words, and a word search of puzzles, leaving me at the crossroads trying to cross words where my mind feels like it's been scrabbled. You see, I call you yell out timber, but I'm yelling out Jenga every time I'm chopped down into despair, because adult life has me trying to guess who I really am. Putting on a 9-to-5 persona seems to be the appropriate time to act adult. So the child in me gets to twist it, pull it, bop it, and squash back into this Polly Pocket, into this recreation time. Recreating a time of mental distress. The child in you should not be subdued because society has told you their perception of the true adult. You remember back in the days when you was an adult and you had dreams of what your adult life would be like? Whatever happened to those dreams? Did you let it fade away like an etch or sketch because the arts and crafts of your dreams felt too childish to be displayed in your brain's Pictionary? Did life's experience leave you in a twister when you gained understanding of a so-called real world, that being an adult meant you had to act adult to live amongst adults? But now you're stuck, looking at Dee Dee while you play Dexter's Laboratory, hoping you create a way to maneuver through life. Instead, understand that the adult is the operation set from the times when your ABC blocks became the stepping stones for you to build upon. You do not need to transform yourself into what society tells you. Adulthood doesn't mean you camouflage your inner child to look like Barbie and Ken. Stretch arms strong enough to hold life by a thread and yo, listen, this isn't a game, boy. The Power Rangers so far in you, so let your inner child be free to play at all times. Instead of rat racing through this world on Hot Wheels that decide to buckaroo you off the track because you didn't check on the fact that the rat race will have you in a dominoes effect. You see, the child in you has a special ability, similar to a Street Fighter Hadouken, invoke endorphins of childlike nature to make you feel at ease with your own self. Lego of all things you perceive as being an adult and take life as it comes. You see, that's the beauty of a child. They see the world differently. Their eyes aren't so Jurassic Parked in times where it was unfathomable to believe that Flintstones can become Jetsons. Did it ever come across to you that listening to your inner child could leave you with a mental stability to combat adulthood, you mortal? Or were you so concerned with the pitfalls and pressures of adulthood that splitting yourself into 3 different people to overcome stresses in life had you looking like Ed, and Eddie? Your inner child should not be something to discard like an old toy. So when I said I need discipline, it was never to get rid of the child in me, more to understand the balance between the 2 roles so I can roll in between the 2. Bridge the gap we're in baby gap and understand that the child in me is there to protect me from the adulthood. Connecting the dots to eat doesn't have to be a race against life. We're not playing Pac-Man. Childlike playing is the perfect antidote to adulthood. So guys, walkie-talkie with me and let's create for the sake of creating. I'm proud to be childish because the world is so much happier when viewed through a child's eyes. Dispense of your adulthood responsibilities and childlike moments, and instead discipline the adult in you. That's me.
Woo! That's so dope.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
You know how hard it was for me not to just be like, all right, I'm taking over as well, because I need to just
Don't do it again.
I'm not doing it again, bro. But you this close to just being like, start all over again. No, start all over again.
Wow, that was a good one.
Thank you.
I mean, it's that. Like, I think that's one of the things about growing. As soon as you start getting in your 20s or thereabout, you start realizing that adults have no idea what they're doing. Everyone's just faking it and just moving on. It's like when I was a kid, I thought, when you're growing up, you read the newspaper, you watch the news, you go to work, you come back, you know what's going on, you have an understanding of the world. And then,
of course, when I was a kid, for a little while, I wanted to be an astronaut, and my belly would tell you that's the wrong thing to do now. Do you know what I mean? I probably couldn't fit in a spaceship. But it's crazy how, like, as kids, we perceive adulthood to be like this amazing thing. And then when you get to an adult, you just want to be a kid again. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you don't understand what responsibilities are. Like buying sweets as a kid is the same to like paying rent. Like, it hurts to lose that money, but you need to live. So yeah, man, discipline the adult in you.
Everyone should get a toy. Like, for your next birthday, just ask for toys. Like, legit. Like, legit. I mean, if I have a kid, I'm going to tell everyone that's bringing a toy, you have to bring two, one for me, one for the kid. I'm not even joking about this thing.
Bro, I play with my own kids' toys, man. Like, we all play together. Yeah, man, definitely.
Sometimes you're just waiting for the dude to go to bed. You're like, just let me get these toys for myself. All right, man, thanks.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
It's amazing having you again. So next we have the amazing lantern carrier. He just regularly paints these pictures with words, and his use of color, smell, nature, and just time in general is fascinating at all times. It's always a pleasure to hear him. All right.
Thank you, very kind. Today I'll just do a memoriam. Paul the apostle, in his letter to the Corinthians, said that Christ died so that others may live. Fast forward to the 21st century, and John Lewis lived so that others too would live. He lived to show us that when tenacity or perseverance is strong, man can even conquer state-sponsored betrayals, that the highest ideals of liberty, equality, justice, and the pursuit of happiness is worth fighting for. John Lewis lived to show us that when resolve is steady, then it is possible and achievable to fight against bigotry and oppression with a strong spirit of love and goodness. John Lewis showed that no iron bars could imprison the spirit, that a more inclusive America, with its richness of diversity and culture, would be a lot stronger. He was a man roused from youth, and so while listening to a Sunday speech by Martin Luther King Jr., John felt a song of freedom suddenly called to him. A gentle, unassuming, and self-giving man, John Lewis treated everyone with dignity and respect, simply because it was natural or innate for his character. He sometimes went to jail for speaking out, but was passionate about righteousness, self-respect, believing by faith that if the cause was just, that we should all hold to a purpose and conviction. John Lewis lived to show us that the spirit of ahimsa, of activism through nonviolence, was but a powerful vehicle for necessary change. He believed in humans. Even when the struggle was at its most intense, he helped many to overcome their fears and insecurities, their hatred and division, to increase their sense of self-worth and fortitude. When this black son of Alabama, USA, was being buried, there was a double rainbow over the casket. No surprise for a man with the unshakable conviction that hate and fear had to be answered with love and hope. Lewis's clarion call, get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America, was repeated several times at his funeral. He wrote an essay just before his death. We're all complicit when we tolerate injustice, Lewis wrote. Each of us has a moral obligation to stand up, and speak out. In my life, I have done all I can to demonstrate that the way of peace, the way of love and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring. The long march is not yet over. The race is not yet won. One must still be alert to the crimes of evil upon the necks and hearts of all innocent men and women, regardless of the race, color, culture, or creed. No farewell, John Lewis. We shall listen as your heart sings and the sunset prepares flowers for another virgin dawn. We will grieve and lament with funeral songs and fiery speeches, while you dance with shooting stars, holding the scepter of Jesus the Christ in the New Jerusalem. We shall hear the bugles blow and trumpets call as you rise again in the haven of the beyond, chanting Alleluia to our Lord. Manotita, Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Boy.
Yes.
Boy.
That's a lovely poem. I love the way you took it. Obviously, his work has been way beyond just what one poem can carry, but you just put so much of his philosophy in one poem, and that's fascinating. His advocate.
I had to shorten it. I left out the metals and other bits as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But being able to advocate for peace in the way he did over time, and his emphasis on the tenacity for change has just been something that has driven change in so many ways, and I just pray it continues.
Well, I'm happy you know about him. That's nice.
What I mean, yeah, John Lewis was a legend. He's a legend.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. So next we have PM. Yes, I haven't heard you. I think I heard you. Have you been to BYOB before?
I have. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember.
Priyanka's amazing.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm the one that's going to say that. Priyanka is amazing. All right.
Yeah. So my name on stage is PM. I said this to people before, but just for people who have just come in. Hello. My name on stage is PM. Obviously this isn't the case here, but generally it's because people, when I went to open mic nights, they could not pronounce Priyanka. And so I was like, I'm just gonna have a stage name because everyone hopefully knows 2 letters. Boris Johnson doesn't. He doesn't know what letters mean, but that's fine. So hello. I write about a bunch of different stuff. Mostly just my experiences, what's happening in my life, general things. My imagery isn't as lofty as Lantern Carrier. That was amazing. Thank you. But during lockdown, I have been unfortunately experiencing like mental health issues and like body image issues, mostly because I'm a graduate and no one knows what's happening in the country. But anyways, I wrote this poem yesterday. It's called Body Is.
Nice.
Body is not sorry. Body is brown, despite it all. Body is short, despite it all. Body is not defining herself, itself anymore. Body is not using hashtags to shape herself. But she is hashtag curvy and proud. Because body is as free and as fluid as the ground she was birthed from. Body is the wind. Watch body wrap herself into a whisper. Body is loved. Body gives love because body is sexy. But some days, body wants to be alone. Too many days, body is public property. Body is someone else's hand. Body is someone else's stare. Body is not body anymore. Watch body wrap herself into herself. Body doesn't want to be body anymore, but people say body is too woman. Body is too curvy. Body is too delicious. I don't remember saying you could take a bite. Body is fat some days. Body is abs a few days. Body is arms so chubby they can flap, and fly away from your BS. Body is love handles, but you cannot grab on. Don't pull the drawer unless invited. Body is the mess inside that drawer that you never wanted to look at again. Body is memories. Body is grief. Body is tears. Watch body wrap herself into her pain and break. Body is putting those pieces back together. Body is growth. Body is time. Body is healing so that one day body can become whole. Body is loved. Body gives love, but most importantly, body is not just body. Body is a person, so hello. Nice to meet you. My name is Priyanka. Thank you.
Wow, I adore that. So much.
I love it. Thank you
love
so
it.
much, guys. I'm really glad everyone loved it.
Fire! Your body is fire. Say it again.
Yes.
Thank you
so much, guys.
I like how you state that through the process of it being broken down and being put back together. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as a woman, it's also really difficult because obviously you get so much pressure like from people making comments about your body and people touching your body when you don't want them to. So I just decided to channel all that into a poem, and that was that.
Nice. Thanks.
Thank
That's
you.
lovely. Next is Hazel isn't here. Next is someone who I've seen some of her poems online. I've been on a couple of open mics with her, and her work is, apart from how bright she smells, her work is bright. It carries that aura. Like, I think when I write a happy poem, I want it to look like Holiday.
Come on, Holly.
I love that. That is like the best introduction. Oh, can you all hear me okay? Okay, cool. So this piece I'm going to share today is the first piece I ever wrote, but I think this will be like the second time I think I've performed it. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous because it's one of the most intimate pieces I've written. And again, I write about my own experiences. I'm a big mental health advocate. I think it's important to share those stories. So this piece I'm going to share with you is called Laptop. My dad bought me a laptop. Now, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, honestly, this gift is sensational and it will really help me with work, research, and I can download Zoom. Is it too soon to assume I'll get more than one email from you like I usually do? Just to reiterate, that's one a year, by the way, and after everything, I'm surprised he doesn't have more to say. You see, I understand a reflection gives his way of showing his affection, and as a benchmark, this laptop is incredible upon inspection. In retrospection, the value of this gift compared with his face-to-face time, now that's priceless, because I'd rather sit over a coffee and talk about solving a world crisis, but thanks, it's nice this. It's strange, I used to be the apple of my dad's eye, now I have a stronger connection to my unstable Wi-Fi. I mean, he doesn't even have to call, I'd be happy with a text. Actually, let me give you some more father-daughter context. So my dad bought me this laptop, brand new Mac, up-to-date software, all bells and whistles. It was wrapped in tissues. I think he thought it would solve all our issues. You see, he upped and left one day. Then 7 years of wondering if it was our undoing, he comes back. Only after my brother's diagnosed with a tumour, which he heard through a rumour, doesn't call but decides to make his heroic appearance. So after this brief biography of his new life and, surprise, new wife, I didn't know whether to hug him or shout. The little girl inside me stood conflicted. My mum point blank screamed at him and threatened to kill him if he didn't get out. It was the perfect family brawl in the hospital hall, blocking the exit sign, a scene worthy of any EastEnders storyline. And it certainly was a scene I didn't foresee when he said he wanted to see my brother and me try again as a family. And we did, for a while. We would sit opposite each other, my brother between us in his hospital bed. Together we'd try and decipher what the oncologist just said, joking about how we still had a bald head and how he would visit me in London. We could go for drinks in the Ned. Then a few months later, my brother got discharged because he was doing so much better. And nothing, not even a letter. All those years spent trying to fix what had been broken, make sense of words left unspoken, his footsteps in my sand were slowly being washed away, and he didn't realise it, but for me, healing had really been at play. He came back too soon, leaving behind his footsteps on my new moon, but this time I don't have any tears left to wash them away, so I guess I'll just have to stick healing back on repeat and press play. My dad bought me a laptop. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, this gift is sensational, but he never gave it to me. He sent it through the post. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I love this poem so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Polly, shut it down.
Like, wow. Okay. Where to begin? That's an amazing poem.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing something so personal with us.
Toby shake that one.
It was beautiful, and yeah, I don't know what to say. It was lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the first piece I ever wrote maybe 10 years ago, and it's just been in a pad somewhere, and it's only the past couple of weeks I've dug it out. I think I saw a lady called Sian, can't remember her second name, but she wrote a poem about her dad, and I remember listening to it, and it really opened up so much for me, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to dig that out and have a read. And it's funny when you leave time and you have healed,
True.
There's still that weird, like, I don't know, this weird thread that's still there, even though you've kind of made peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's your dad or your mum or your grandparents, whoever's raised you, you still have this weird connection and longing, even though you're an adult. It's a really weird thing. And for me to go through 2 traumas and trying to navigate that was really like a really difficult time. And that's where I found poetry. I was doing some journaling. I'd had some CBT therapy, which I really rate, by the way. Try it if you need some help, CBT. And I was doing lots of journaling, and I just started writing, and things would flow and things would rhyme, and that's laptop came from that. So thank you for listening.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing.
Okay, so next we have Beth. I haven't heard Beth before, but it's a pleasure to have you. So
it's great to be here. Hi, I am Beth, also known as the .galtsy.within on Instagram. I'm really new to the poetry scene. I only had my account for a year, and I write about my experiences, mental health and relationships. And yeah, tonight I'll be sharing a poem called It's Been a Year. It's my first spoken word piece I've done. So hopefully you'll love it. So here it goes. It's been a year since we last spoke. You'll find a girl whose voice drips with golden honey. You'll tell her how my voice turns sour wine. You'll tell her how her smile teaches the stars to shine bright. You'll tell her how my smile took life from you in order to lighten my own eyes. But what you won't tell her is how you bled and carved out my own heart, how you became my forbidden god whom I praised, so people tried to drag my cold hands from your statue that I held dearly. That I would drive and walk over burning hot coals, so my feet became as damaged your heart that's supposed to radiate love but instead projected pain. I didn't care because I wanted you to know how much I cared. How I starved myself from worldly possession in order to get a clean high from your love that became toxic for each puff. How I spent each lonely night bounded by the phone till its wires became my chains, how I felt myself suffocating until I heard you call. While you were able to live a life of wonders. You spent a life of throwing your sword on a girl who wasn't me. But no. You'll tell her that I'm the bitch who dragged you through hell. Who crushed your love as if it was dirt underneath my fingertips. But tell you what you want is I don't give an F. You've lost me, you've lost the good, you've lost the great, there is no turning back now. But I suppose it's easy to paint me as the guilty, then expose to her how one day your true light will eventually burn her flesh. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Wow.
Whoa, that was cool.
That was
Wait,
deep.
That sounds
you said,
deep, innit?
did you say that's your first
Yeah, but
spoken
I
word
was like,
piece?
bruh, who's she talking to?
Like, okay, question. Has the person who the poem is about heard the poem?
Sorry, what was that?
The person, it's about someone. Has
Yes,
that person
it is.
heard the poem?
I don't know if he has.
He has now. I'm sending it. I'll send it.
He has it now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Again, it was like, I like the fact that you're comfortable enough to share something that personal with us, right? And thanks for that. And I'm glad it's awesome to have you on the poetry scene. It's been lovely to hear more from you.
Thank you. And just honestly, just everybody here has been so good tonight and so inspiring. So thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, I was inspiring. Thank you. I need to be serious. I'm the host. The next person we have is someone who turns words to gold. Yeah. Let's welcome Amelia, the alchemist.
Wow. Yeah. Jumping in on the last minute, you know. Guys, you are absolutely saints. Oh my gosh. Hi, thank you for having me. What a little bit of a last minute thing. I didn't even know I was going to jump on, but I commented on the YouTube channel and everyone was like, everyone was amazing. And then like someone messaged me, do you want to jump on? So here I am. How do you do? So today I'm just loading my poem. Give me 2 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's have a little back and forth. Hi, this is Solomon. Welcome, Solomon's Soul. Yeah, guys, live on YouTube. Yeah. Sorry, guys. And as you know, I'm Amalia the Alchemist. I am a spoken word artist, multidisciplinary artist, and a writer from Southeast London. And now I'm globally with you, like together alone. Give me 1 second. Okay. Thank you. Technical difficulties. Also, guys, I'm on my mobile, so I can't see anyone. I can only look at myself right now. Yeah. And I'm reading from my laptop. This one is called, What Am I Doing to Protect My Mental Health? I'm taking my insecurities off the shelf so I can leave them with you. As I depart, my focus is on tunes. Music is my muse. I create to give to you from dark to light, alchemy all night. Life's soundtrack. I backtrack and the vocal sounds great. I'm reminded I have friends that I've met down to fate. So I'll call you up at 8:20 and ask you if you're feeling great. Are you feeling this beat like Professor from Dane? I removed another insecurity for you. It's called drama. I was stuck in a loop, reliving my karma until I realized my path was a higher path. So I stepped in the bath to sink all my worries into and take my truth to the booth with me. Ooh. I was just out the bath, you know. I just came out the bath, you lot, you know. I span a beat and Ryan worked with me. He said, Miles, you're special. So I inhaled. I stepped out and I turned on the kettle. Studio 9424, Hackney Wick. I will remember you on tour. I pay my people so they can see me. I pay my people so they can see. This life is more than a capital society. We thrive in small communities. So I dropped out of university because I had to turn. So I dropped out of university because I turned to greens and trees to help me be. I focus on putting my pen to the page. I thank God that she took the stereotype away and gave me Dave and Scissor and IMDDB. Where would I be without my sanity? Where would I be without being me? I realize now that capitalism isn't what it seems. Wait for this next bar, it's kind of deep. Seamstress, Loyal Kana, saved me from stress. Listen, seamstress, Loyal Kana, it saved me from stress. So I focused on the music and I do my best. I focus on my writing because it keeps me sane. I am whole, I am enough, I love what I do. I don't do this for fame. For you, I'm taking off my insecurities and taking them off the shelf. I left university because it fucked with my mental health. I'm not always right, but I write, and I might not rhyme, but I pray instead this gets into your head so you can focus on your words and not this capital prison sentence. I put the backtrack to the vocals when I'm up in the booth. I've been writing down my truth since 2002. 8 years old, I've got an old soul. If you put a thought into reality, you must reap what you sow. I've been dreaming of award shows, Nobel Peace and Grammy Awards. I get nominated for that, which I talk. I put my truths to tuned in the booth, attuned to the truth. That's all I'll ever remind you to do. You are a soul, so reap the seeds. Yeah, we're here. I'm here. We are. You're here. You're listening. You are a soul, so reap the seeds. You are enough. You've got to believe. I thought I was dead in 2018, but I'm back with a vision. I deliver. I'm on top, winner. My soul so ethereal. I wonder if you know your own glow. I wonder if you know and celebrate your own goals. You're told in this pothole that you sink in potholes. You must fill it up to be filled with love. This isn't something fancy with loads of puns and bars. This is for the housekeeper who's working really hard. I remember when I was cleaning floors on all fours, paving my way to open light's door. You are here now, breathing. You are alive. So save up that money for the car that you want to drive. Talk to your dad daily. He needs to know that you care. Check your mum's got electric because the darkness she can't bear. You're a queen with mono-autonomic gold in your hair. And I know there's an injustice that you cannot bear. Talk to your friends. Talk to your father. He will tell you, because he told me this. He'll remind you that his son walked this earth, so you've already won. Yes, Lord Jesus. Have you ever listened to a song that's so good that you wish that you wrote it? Well, this one is written for you. Yeah. This life's written, so please just follow the signs. The ego doesn't want you to see the future. He'll always get you looking behind. Listen, your ego doesn't want you to see the future, so he'll always get you looking behind. Yeah. But that's in heritage. That's in your heritage. See, so like my melanin, I choose to shine. So I'm right. I'm gonna write. Can you just forgive these lines that I can't see? The screen's too bright. So like my melanin, I choose to shine. And I'm all right, and I write. And this is acceptance and love. And I'm just talking and taking what is mine. See, this platform, bring your own bars. It trusts us to share our own truths. So I'm changing like metamorphosis. I've come too far to take the red pill, not the blue. I'm changing like, what's his name? Morpheus. Morpheus taught me the only way out is through. And I'm fighting fire like Aang and Katara. So all I need is my onion and banana juice. Cheers! Big up yourselves. You are amazing. We are all deep for reflections, and I pray that you enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that? Yeah!
That was just incredible.
Onion and banana juice, you know.
Thank you for advocating.
So what? I said all season.
Oh my God, Romeo is in the building. I saw your thing, you know. You're lit. Yeah, you're lit.
Love.
I miss you. I miss you. I love you guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for jumping in.
Appreciate that. Follow me on Instagram at Amalia the Alchemist. I will follow you all back and also drop your handles maybe on Twitter. I mean, on this live stream, which is on Facebook. So just drop your handles.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, I'm joking. So next we have our co-host. First time I met Soft Spoken, aka Abdullah, was at Chocolate Poetry, and he did this poem about Northwest London, and I just moved to London then, and I was like, it's always crazy that we have to travel this far to have a poetry night and all. And it was just a random discussion on a staircase in a dark pub. That sounds very dodgy. Anyway, we had that conversation, and a couple of months later, BYOB started. So it's been an honor. It's always a pleasure to work with him. And even though we have discussions where I'll be like, you see, I think we need to do this. And Abdullah will be like, yeah, but, and I'll be like, but, and we keep going but back and forth like that. But we end up coming up with something good. It's always cool to have him. His poetry is amazing and usually personal. So yeah, take it away.
I mean, my head looks big because of the way the camera's looking at me as well, but you just made my head bigger as well, definitely. Yeah, made it sound a lot dodgier than it actually was. It was on a stairway. It was a dark stairway as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But you know what? I'm going to change my poem. Since you brought up the poem about Northwest London, I haven't done this poem before, so I'll give it a go. I want you to picture the scene. Nighttime, Kingsbury, time exactly 11:17 according to my mobile screen. See, I know these streets coming from North Wheezy, and I used to... I'll start again. Picture the scene. It's nighttime, Kingsbury. Time exactly 11:17 according to my mobile screen. See, I know these streets coming from North Wheezy, and I used to work at the local academy, so it's not a surprise to me as I see a teen in a hoodie whose name I'll delete for the reasons of secrecy, but for the purpose of keeping to this rhyming scheme, a student who I used to teach who goes by the name of Steve. See, I'm gassed as we exchange pleasantries and smile when he says I'm looking healthy, and my heart fills with pride when I hear he has an apprenticeship with Mercedes. I mean, speaking truthfully, Steve in year 8 was a bit of a travesty. I mean, not for reasons domestically, but easily the laziest kid I've ever seen. Not really gifted academically, but I'm glad to see that he's now moving positively. So yeah, dap him up and tell him to keep it upbeat, walking to where I've just parked my car opposite Oldie, not realizing I'm about to pass through the biggest dichotomy. Now picture the scene. It's still nighttime Kingsbury, but the time now is exactly 11:19 according to my digital watch screen. I don't care, call me a geek. JJ Moon's to the left of me, walking through 5 guys smoking weed. Stench giving me the hint of munchies I haven't really felt since I stopped blazing around 2013. Mum, you don't know this yet, so please, Mum, don't watch this. But I just drive by passively. I acknowledge them respectfully, leaving these teens to be because, frankly, I just want to go home to wifey, and no school for 6 weeks can lead to monotony. But what I didn't realize was these fiends used to study at a local academy until SLT kicked them out at the age of 16. Hey, yo, who's my man walking like a seal? That's what he taught me when I was 14. Hey, my man's acting kind of booky. Oh, Mr. Man, so you fat, so-and-so. F the secondary. You see, it's a wonder I keep it moving, acting like my ears are blind like Stevie, or like my eyes are deaf like Hominick after 5 rounds with Jose Aldo in the UFC. See, my ego's telling me to turn around and respond aggressively, but even worse, my day started off with being caught speeding by police, and my fuse was already unsteady. I mean, who are these kids speaking to me like they knew me? But honestly, since poetry, I've become a new me. So I breathe. I inhale steadily as I think of wife and how far I've overcome my 30s now. In my 20s, it would have been a different story. I mean, forget soft-spoken. I can be mean. I've never been lean, but still physically intimidating and whisper it, but man can really scream. See, I can reduce your self-esteem and remind you to fear the almighty, but instead, I chuckle softly. Well, firstly, I no longer work at the secondary, and now I'm at a school in Stratford. You know, last up on Jubilee, so get your facts straight, G. And at this school SLT, at the end, treats me like a nobody. A matter of fact, it's a large source of my anxiety, so actually I agree. F the secondary. But secondly, I remember these kids individually, and I realized they were actually acting fearfully. See, they reminded me of Romeo and Juliet Acts 1 Part 3, where the Montagues and Capulets were shouting obscenities, zombies being sheep with their group mentality. Now picture the scene. It's still nighttime Kingsbury, but the time is now exactly 11:20 according to my dashboard screen as I leave. I'm seething and angry at myself, wishing I didn't freeze, driving silently as the following bars present themselves to me, and suddenly sadness washes over me. Who raised you? Is your disrespect a lack of family, or let's be more honest, who failed you? Is it a lack of parental authority or a product of austerity? Because hear this, as a consequence of Tory ideology, a choice made by the majority of MPs cuts the benefits, education, other government bodies has led to a rise in criminality, especially in inner cities. Postcode wars back as gangs fight over territory. It's steep. Youth clubs shut down rapidly as employees, if they're still working now, are doing it voluntarily. Because conservative austerity has robbed us of people like Camilla Batman Galige, verily the patron of the Kids Company, unfortunately shut down as a result of financial irregularities, exacerbated by funding revoked by trustees and the Treasury. I really can't get my words out today. What's going on? I mean, it's peak. I can go for weeks, but honestly, picture the scene. I'm now in bed, but I'm still ruminating, and time approximately 2:33 according to my alarm clock screen, researching stabbings that happened in 2018. 43,000 incidents. Let me say that again. 43,000 stabbing incidents. Can you believe 132 families left to grieve and 84 still rising in 2019? See, when I started this piece, I thought this would be therapy, but anguish and fear are bathing me as I attempt to get some sleep. See, I just hope the sheep have got back to their pens peacefully and the wolves have now descended for their midnight feast. And as far as I can see, there's no shepherd, so it's sheep leading sheep sheepishly, blissfully unaware that Wile E. Coyote still kills a roadrunner eventually. See, my mind wanders to Fisky on the Outspoken podcast with Anita and Just Naeem, talking about why youth need to be given a chance to speak, not made to feel weak. Well, Fisky, I agree. Because when they feel weak, they shout obscenities. And if it's to the wrong person, that really could lead to fatalities. And it's no exaggeration when I say I'm worried the next generation will kill each other gradually. Now, finally, picture the scene. It's late 2019, Woodcock Hill Cemetery. A mother crying, holding shakily a picture of her fully grown seed. Headline all over news screens. Teen dead, stabbed approximately at 3:13. Kingsbury High Road closed, now a forensic crime scene. Eyewitnesses reports having heard screams of obscenities. Victim apparently just over 17. Flowers with messages saying, King of these streets. Now swap Kingsbury for Aston, Trafford, Notts, or even Barnsley, and the same story applies evenly. Because even this evening, another parent's dreams could be replaced with sirens and screams. But good night, Abdullah. You've got work in the morning. Thank you.
Cheese and peas.
So powerful.
That was like a
Wow.
journey.
And bread and holy water.
And afterwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vividness and
Yeah.
destiny that was amazing.
Wow.
The repetitive
Yeah.
of the time as well was dope.
Yeah. It's just, man, every time I hear that poem, I'm just like, yeah, this is the storytelling and poetry just infused together.
Bro,
Thanks,
that's
man.
not even a poem, man. That's a TED talk right there, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
So you're already
it's when
gassing
he-
me up as it is right now as well. Don't try and gas me up so
Bruv,
It's when
listen,
he
put
said,
a power,
it's soft spoken, but I can be loud.
bro, put a
Savage.
power pen
You're
at the back
amazing.
and let's go, man.
Yeah.
We take inspiration from you. Literally.
True.
Agreed.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
You need to
Okay.
change your name. You need to change your name to Loudspoken.
No, Rohan, there's actually a thing behind it. It's called soft-spoken, hard-hitting. Now put these initials in position, and you understand that when I'm spitting, you should sit down and listen.
Bullet.
Okay. All right.
Close
Okay.
the shop.
All right.
No, no, no.
Game over. Close the shop. Wow.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So to our last open micer, we have Brooklyn.
Oh,
I
shit.
haven't heard him speak yet, but I know he's going to be fire. So take it
All
away.
right, you're not going to get the full thing because I was trying to write it down. Last time we had an interval, though, so I thought we were going to get an interval this time. So we haven't got no interval.
Neep.
All right, then. I'm going to have to... I don't know if I remember the last bit, but we move. All right, then. It's a bit X-rated, so thanks for leaving me to last. Here it goes. There's nothing wrong with a bit of company, but when the moon comes up and the stars ignite the sky, under the sheets we'll connect more than sexually. You say I got away with words, but watch what else I can roll off with my tongue. I'll spell out the alphabet till I hear you loud breathing and you're teasing you till you're about to. There's nothing wrong with a bit of fun. As I grab the left hip, fight the right. Sexual urges so strong that we lose the fight as we become one. I come, you come, but we're not them. No matter what the time says on the bedside clock, you roll on top and control my. You know Shakira, but your hips don't lie. She never thought she'd be fucking with a poetry guy. You look into my eyes while I'm deep inside, but it's more than physical as I connect on another level. I feel I can read your mind. In between loving and fucking, we talk about everything and nothing. Then continue fucking 11. You're flat on your stomach because your back's all stunning. Only my fingertips through your hair will be the only thing running. As you lean back into it, I pull you by your hips. Tilt your head back so you can taste yourself off my lips. Where you're taking this dick and touching your core shaking, bed's breaking, body's aching, but you're yearning for more. You're saying my name in ways I never heard it been said before. Heavy breathing in my ear, it's like magic, but I won't disappear. And these restraints won't break. Tied to the headboard, but I tell you, the tricks in the tools in my box will make you not bored. Fold you in positions that you won't want to unfold. And that's it, I can't remember the rest. I was trying to write it, it's hard times, man. I was trying to write it. Last time we had an interval. So I thought, I might be able to get it in. But yeah.
Okay.
Because I started writing poetry and it was all like serious stuff. And then my friends were like, what are you going to do? Seduce a girl with it? Damn right I will. Damn right I will. Come back to you.
We're ready for a part 2.
Mm-hmm. Like, whew, Lord have mercy.
Holly got in there quick.
Handles on, yeah, so I wish I could get it. The last line's like sick, but I just couldn't write it down in time.
We need to find out the results from this poem.
Like, there's a proper experiment right there. We need to know the outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah,
lockdown love, man. Lockdown love.
Hey, I'm coming down to London next weekend as well.
Okay.
Come on.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing.
Cheers. Sorry, I couldn't finish it. I was trying to write. But yeah, it was a bit basic. It was just a bit more fun than it was anything else. Do you know what I mean? I think with everything that's going on with like the Black Lives Matter and stuff, it's kind of like nice to take yourself away from it, especially for a person of color. You feel like you've got a responsibility to write about it, and when you don't talk about it, you feel like you're letting someone down. So I thought, do something a bit fun, take my mind off it as well. So yeah, thanks for listening. Anyway, sorry if I stuttered and stuff. It was
No, that's good. Like,
shut it down.
I love your point of it's not you shouldn't come to a poetry event and all you're hearing is just heavy hitting poems about all the things that are broken in the world.
Sometimes you just need wet wipes out, innit?
Yeah.
Wet wipes and baby lotion.
No.
Okay, so we would move to our headliner now. I've known Militebs for approximately 6 years or thereabout, maybe. Yeah, we're in a collective in Nottingham, the Mouthy Poets, together, and we've been to Arvon twice, which is a writing workshop where you go for like a week in this house, this really nice house, and you just have 2 instructors working with you on writing. And her first book, Sometimes I Fall Asleep on the Couch, is available. I mean, you should all get it. It is an amazing piece of work. She has this poem, which she's not doing today. I don't think she's doing it, but she talks about noses. And yeah, it has made me change the way I see people's noses, which is a very interesting thing. But yeah, so the first poem, she has a couple of videos recorded, and then we'll hear some things from her live. And so we'll just listen to one of her poems now, and then we'll come back to her. So, yep.
My limbs disconnected from one another, and no one present knows where to look. Close my eyes. How protagonist goes into their own world in an indie film, all they feel is beat. I don't dance to be seen. I move my hips without noticing the male attention. I don't want to be seen. I just want to dance. My body, a bubble bath with running water on its surface, says splashback, and I am loose with bad metaphors. Let the music not matter. I want to dance soul to Billie Eilish. Have no one question my choice of movement, my feet to lead the way. I never really know what to do with my arms, but they're happy. Being supporting characters in my body's film of independence.
Okay. Wait, there was a delay in that. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. Okay, yeah, I think she'll just do it live instead. If she doesn't. All right, so here's Mila. So yeah, this is Mila Tebbs. She's from Nottingham. She's a poet. Yeah, just take it away, Mila.
I just need to find the right poems now. Let me just where is that goddamn poem? Here we go. So this is a poem which is called Halfway Nowhere. When they first ask about my hometown, I will say where it is not. Halfway between Notts and Derby, my dad instilled in me from a young age that we were from Nottingham as he buttoned my forest baby grow. But our postcode started DE. I never really knew what to believe. When they scrunch their eyes and repeat the question of where, I will reference the bus route. The I-4 from Market Square will take you right to my road. If anything, that bus is my most treasured keepsake. I can't remember what life was like before getting my Mango card. My strongest connection to home is escapism. Ask me what my village is like, and I will struggle to find the words. It's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. We only have 6 streets. John's off license is in the neighbouring village, and we have more farmland than domestic properties. We are the Midlands of the Midlands. If you continue up my childhood street, you will find No Man's Lane. When they question if I miss it, my heart and mind will respond separately. I won't be going back. As much as I miss the fields and the fact that there's still a phone box on the corner of First Avenue, I outgrew this village, spent so much of my life walking the tightrope of identity, I couldn't bear to tread the halfway point again. When I ask if you'll take the I-4 with me, let me show you why I avoid grey areas, you will laugh. Why bother going halfway nowhere? Thank you. So I'm just gonna try and find the poems that I sent to a call.
Can I say one thing? I went to Derby University and lived in Markeaton Street.
Like, you get it,
right? There's a mad synchronicity because of how small and shit. That's how it is. So yeah. Bravery for you for even, have you lived there? Are you moving or have you lived there?
I live in Nottingham now. I live in Nottingham City Centre now.
Good choice. Okay. And amazing.
Thank you. So, and what else did I send to you? Now I have to remember what I sent. So, oh, here we go. So this is a poem called I Want to Stick Post-it Notes All Over Your Body.
I love this poem.
Onto the parts you don't notice, the parts you never want attention drawn to. I want to draw your body into acceptance. Underline your heart. Circle your head in red ink. Remind you it needs attention. Your body needs attention. I want to stick post-it notes like you rub coconut oil all over your skin. I don't take joy out of any of this. Would rather not two-step around insecurity, but you folded your body into resentment. I want to help you unpeel yourself, assist you to appreciate, not hate, and if stationary is the way forward, then I will buy out the whole of W.H. Smith. But the saddest part about all of this is that I can't rewrite the book, can't proofread your self-esteem. I can only show you what I see. It's all subjective, and I see your body in a way you won't allow yourself to. I see your body as double-page spread, intrigue, beauty, and strength. The staples can hold you together, but only you can put them there. Thank you.
Cool.
I'm just passing around here because this is where my laptop is.
Wait,
not
but
being
yeah, we need to talk about that poem. You just hold on, calm down. Like what was it? It's so real. It's the fact that you can see. You said the person can't see, won't allow themselves to see themselves how you see them. That was such a lovely line.
Thank you.
Yeah. What was the inspiration?
It's a mutual friend.
Okay.
Funnily
Okay.
enough, it's a dear friend of mine who really struggles with body image, and it's incredibly frustrating. It's obviously horrible struggling with body image issues yourself, but watching someone who you see as beautiful struggling is incredibly frustrating. And funnily enough, like I will send you the poem, but the poem is laid out so you can read it 3 ways as well. So it's not that's just one way, and then you can read it 2 other ways. But yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Madness. Love it.
Do you want another one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep blabbering.
No. Any which way, man.
I actually made a realization the other day that at least a third of my poems I've been writing lately start with "I want," so it just makes me feel very greedy. This is a poem that doesn't have a title. I want to turn you inside out. My mother taught me that's the best way to put on pillowcases, not that I think you're a pillowcase, or that I want to be the pillow to fill you, but I wouldn't mind stepping inside, even if only briefly. I'd like to take in your internal surroundings, let them become my most natural habitat. Peeking through a window just won't do. I want to be consumed by you. I want to trace your veins with my fingertips and tiptoe through your vital organs. I won't leave a trace. Promise to turn you back outside in. My mother taught me how to make my bed, that for something to turn out neat, you must dare to go inside. But she also taught me to wash the covers buttoned up. So I'll button you back up when you need time to grow. That's that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Please, someone should say something because yeah.
I just love how Akor seems to die in between each poem.
It's like,
well, I haven't seen a call for so long, so it's also like I just want to hug, and that's not allowed from Tia.
I think the thing about that poem and the other poem is the simplicity in what you're working with. It's just the simplicity of how a person, and a lot of poets do that. You relate a person to an object, or the situation to an object, and you work with that. And for something as relatable as a pillowcase and laundry and learning how to sort your bed out in the morning or at any time, it's interesting to see how I would want such a relationship with a person where I would want to know them as well as that. Yeah, it's a lovely poem.
Thank you. Should I do another one?
Yes,
please.
How long am I meant to be talking for? So, and perhaps I'll never write the thing I need to. Those words don't really exist. They have been swallowed too many times to be regurgitated into anything coherent. Maybe they enjoy being cocooned in my gut, wrapped in mucus and membrane, and all the times I said yes when I meant no. I wonder, if all my thoughts came out backwards, would they make more sense? Would the world viewed upside down be more palatable than the truth? I'm unsure if anything I write holds the weight it's meant to. If the things objectively heavy are meant to be light relief and vice versa. When I first picked up a pen, I only scrawled things that would poison me if digested. Now, I worry I'm over milking. Scrawling sentences better left unsaid. At times, I have let my words consume me. And I'm still unsure if that were by choice or not. Thank you. Sorry, my voice is going all like croaky.
You said, when I first picked up a pen, I only wrote those things that
would poison me if digested.
Yeah. It's that urge to write.
Yeah. It's that innate sort of, I think a lot of people, sorry, I'm just going to blabber. I think a lot of people can relate to finding poetry as a way of processing, and as a way of being able to articulate yourself when maybe you don't feel like you're able to in day-to-day conversation. And that's how I first found poetry when I was 13, 14. And yeah, it's always important to go back to that. But I think for me, poetry has now formed so many more layers than just, this is how I'm working out my brain.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that that's a part of it. And that's a very valid and important part of the writing process.
True. Yeah.
I just want to add to Mila. Did I get your name right? Yeah. Just never ever stop taking up space. Don't apologize for taking space. Thank you for holding space. Keep writing, and you are loved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I do a bit of an angry one?
Please. I mean, but before you go, we definitely need to hear the poem about noses as well, if you can.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. That's really short. Do you want noses first or anger?
Noses.
Noses. Okay.
All the noses.
All of it.
An ode to noses. When asked why I love noses, I'm stumped. And then mutter, they're the centre of the face. To which I get no backlash because you can't argue with the geography of facial features. And the way the nose sticks out further than any other speaks volumes to me. If you tell someone they have a nice nose, they scrunch it up like a crisp packet. And there's nothing more beautiful to me than a blush in the nasal area. Yeah,
I love that poem.
Yeah, that poem is wicked. I really like that.
Okay, now I'm gonna look at noses differently.
No, it makes me feel quite good about my nose, seeing as mine looks like roadkill. But
yeah,
man.
Noses are good. Noses are good. Right, I'm gonna be a bit angry, and then I'll stop being angry. Is he bothering you? The patronization oozes from your voice box. Inside me screams, even if he is. It's not your place. It's not your job. It's not something you should endeavor to solve. I get it. I do. That knight in shining armor routine is such an ego boost. And sometimes, yes, it is necessary to intervene. But before you do, remind yourself that you are another he. Another version of that misogyny oozes out with your words. An alternative could be making eye contact prior to vocalization, or see if there's a she around that could help instead. You're perpetuating the cycle, adding fuel to the fire by suggesting that you, as a fellow he, are the only one who can save she from he. The patronization comes full circle. Outside me paints on a doe-eyed smile. Thank you. Sometimes it's easier to let him flex his manlyhood than challenge his whole belief system infused by societal norms. Inside me repeats. It's not your place. It's not your job. It's not something you should endeavor to solve. Thank you.
That was wicked.
Oh, so good.
Beautiful.
What do you want me to do, Akor? Give me direction.
Give you direction. Can you just talk about this poem a little bit more?
So
yeah.
Do you want to know context or?
Yeah, context.
Okay. So the context.
Context, and as blatant as it would seem, I don't know what the experience is as a guy. And so to know a little bit more, because even from this poem, we're getting the punchlines, but I could see the first few people that resonated with it were the girls on this Zoom call. And it's because you have a shared experience, and it would be, I would love to know more about that.
I think for me, this poem comes from a place that most women or female presenting people experience throughout their lives. And for me, it feels quite poignant. I worked in bars for a number of years, and working in bars as a young woman can cause you a lot of attention, and unwanted attention particularly. This poem was addressed to the men that often feel like it's their place to intervene when they think a woman is feeling uncomfortable. It's not that I think that men shouldn't try to help, obviously. We should all be on an even playing field. However, I have a huge frustration with the idea that men have to fight women's battles for them. And men often sort of barging in and trying to save the day is perpetuating this cycle of women need a man to save them, when that is not always the case. And I think it's important for men to realize that even if you think you're trying to help, you in turn are making that woman somewhat look weaker, and invalidating their own strength. And it was just a bit of an anger. It was just me going, and trying to articulate it the best way I can, which is poetry.
If I could jump in as well, it's so weird because even if a man isn't physically present and a guy comes up to you, the first line you always say is, "Oh no, sorry." Even if you don't, "Oh no, sorry, I have a boyfriend." But like even then, a man has to be in the situation some way for men to respect you enough to back off.
Exactly.
I totally get the frustration.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't get angry too often anymore, but I can use that. Normally I'm just blabbering about shit, but sometimes it's...
Okay, we have space for one more poem.
One more poem?
Yes, please.
Stand. This is quite a nice... This was, in fact, I can't remember who it was, but someone was talking about... sorry, I'm really bad with names when I'm not in real life. Someone was talking about still acting like a child, or clinging on to your childhood tendencies in adult life.
Yeah.
And that was sort of why I was like, I'll do this. Beautifully confused, we wander through this world, unsure if our thoughts match up with our peers, or our fears are in sync with what we should be scared of. Constantly reevaluating ourselves to the point where every inch of our souls has been highlighted like a Google document. Comments have been added from various sources. I think we all see things in patterns, find continuity in the spontaneous, connect the dots when there are only lines around. Sometimes our minds get stuck on one thought path. We have a repeat prescription of tunnel vision once we've zoomed in on a particular issue, obsessed to the point of exhaustion, then only related content crops up. When traveling, we create a home inside ourselves. Commuters halted by a delayed train find armrests in their kneecaps. Holiday goers, unprepared for temperature changes, find embraces in their own shoulder blades, palms grasping with a desperate comfort. When lacking the tools to verbally communicate, we make do with our hands. The universal sign for thank you is a shy smile we decorate our doorways with. The hardest lesson to learn and accept is that no one ever has it all worked out. When I was young, I believed that at 18 I'd be settled, have a regimented plan that was accomplishable 4 years later, and that plan has shapeshifted far more than I had planned for. I dog sit for a couple in their 40s who still have toothpaste splatters on their bathroom mirror. I think few people leave this world with a completed jigsaw. I don't think we'll ever truly know what other people are thinking. We can spend our lives trying to work it out, comparing the incomparable, wondering and wandering through this world, beautifully confused. Thank you.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you so much. As you said, I think few people leave this world with an incomplete jigsaw. Yeah, I love this theme. It seems like even though we didn't coordinate, like give everyone a topic to write about, tonight has just had themes recurring across poems and just different people seemingly working together to create this beautiful tapestry of a show just today. And it's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I miss you big time. And yeah, it's amazing to have you. Please, can you put the link of your book? Can you just plug your book, please?
My book is actually, there aren't any copies left. I am currently writing a second book.
Okay.
But that won't be for a few years. So currently we have one copy in my bedroom that is for a childhood friend because I forgot to even save myself one.
Reprint?
Yeah, basically. When I've sorted that out, I will. But if you follow me on social media, it's Miller Tebbs on Facebook and Mumbling Miller on Instagram and Twitter. Then you will be flooded and probably inundated with information and teasers of the new book. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's been an amazing show today. Thank you, Miller, for coming, and for every other person from Lewis to PM to Holly, Lantern Carrier, Soft Spoken, Romeo, Amelia, Brooklyn, Beth, Rohan. It's just amazing to have you all here today. It's lovely to have this. And one thing I think I would really in the future love to do is to create small, even if it's like a pamphlet of the poems that are done on a night, because it's one thing to hear the poems and to really have such beautiful poems. It's another thing to have them to be able to go back to and read them again and just go through the beautiful minds of everybody. So thank you so much. It's really great to have the Brent 2020 sponsor this show and to help us we can't pay everyone as we desire to, and we can give a tip to our headliner, but it's for them to just give that space and to allow this happen. Initially it was supposed to be some live shows, not as much as we've had, but then 2020 happened and then we moved online and they decided to go on with that. So it's been amazing to work with them, and it's something we want to do a lot more, especially in the north of London, to get more poetry out there, to get not just poets to poetry shows, but to get people who haven't really encountered such poetry to come to such poetry shows. So yeah. And then we were supposed to have a show on the 10th of August, a live show, but again, 2020 continued. So it has been cancelled for now. We're still looking at what will happen and just stick to our social media, BYOB Poetry on Instagram and on Twitter, and we'll definitely keep everyone up to date on what is happening. We really would like to have a live show. We want to make sure everything is safe, and we want to make sure everyone can come there and leave and not have to cough or sore throat the next day. So yeah, those are very important things. And we want everyone to be healthy enough to write more poems. So that is, yeah. So thank you for coming. Thanks for having our headliner. Can everyone just snap to them? And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Cool. Before we go, I think you need to tell everyone about our next show on the 17th.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So our next show is on the 17th. We are having someone who is on the open mic today, Monsieur Rohan. He is the headliner that day. And
man, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Oh my god.
It'll be amazing to have him. So yeah, please tune in. And
I'm gonna pull my hair for this one as well.
The open mic list will be available soon. So make sure you sign up to that and spread the word so we can get more people involved in BYOB. And particularly, I would like you to tell someone who you know doesn't write poetry to join in, because it would be good to get poetry to those who don't like it, who currently think they don't like it. Because most of us didn't like poetry because of the way we learned it in school, but they didn't know you're going to listen to what Lewis said today or what Rohan said today or Romeo's poetry. Because if that's what you're taught in school, I doubt any one of our mates would have been like, oh, I don't like poetry. They'll want to hear more of Holly's poetry or Amelia's poetry, and that is what I want us to do. So get some of your friends or your younger ones, force them in, and we'll get good works like that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I think with that, we are sort of done. Abdullah, anything else?
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to everyone who's performed, and could everyone just stay on the chat for a second? But for everyone at home, thank you for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time with Rohan Samuel. Thank you.
Yeah.